President Erno, thank you for your time.
Welcome.
How are you?
Thanks for
Erno Peto is the president of the Hungarian-Chinese Chamber of Economy. For decades, he's dedicated to improving the commercial relations of the two countries. Hungary has its outsized impact on the world. Its literature, its music, and now, of course, its commercial ties with China. Can you tell us a bit about the companies that you're representing, especially those that are interacting, that are benefiting from their cooperation with their Chinese counterparts?
The trade relations are growing continuously between China and Hungary, and last year it reached the 14.5 billion US dollar. But most important is that Hungary is an EU member state. The potential of Hungary is not the production power, because we are quite small. But we can provide to the Chinese economy and to the Chinese enterprises a very special service, a platform. If they come here, they are in the EU, closer to the second or third biggest market in the world. And if they establish a factory or a plant or a company here in Hungary, the product what is produced or will be produced by these companies are EU product, made in EU, made in Hungary. So that's a benefit for both countries, and we have to use together and we have to cooperate to use this possibility.
When you think about the fact that we're cooperating on many fronts, infrastructure, high-speed trains, logistics related to China, Europe, railway express, in your portfolio, what is the most promising sector right now that you think Chinese and Hungarian businesses can both benefit from?
All over in the world now is the number one industry is the electric vehicles. And everybody is talking about this industry. In this respect, Hungary is also in a very special situation. Quite a lot, mostly German car manufacturers are working here in Hungary, Mercedes, Audi, and now BMW started a new plant in Debrecen. And this new plant, it was decided to produce only electric vehicles. And in their neighborhood, there is one of the biggest battery manufacturer, CATL, which wants to sell their products mostly to the BMW factory. And at the same time, BYD, the famous Chinese EV manufacturers, decided to build the first of their plant manufacturers out of China in Hungary, in the southern part of Hungary, in Szeged. So, together with China, we can do something against the climate change or to make the economy, the production, should be greener, more green. And we together, we can do quite a lot.
How is the BYD manufacturing facility doing in southern Hungary? How is it impacting local economy and society?
I've heard from one of the shipping companies that they have to organize within few months to transport about 1,000 boxes, 1,000 containers from China to Szeged. So, because it is close to the triangle border, the Hungarian, Serbian and Romanian border, for that area, it will be very good and very useful thing. This investment can help the economy to be better.
Sir, the European Union threatened to impose tariffs on Chinese-made electric vehicles going into the European market, saying that China is basically exporting its overcapacity because the Chinese government is subsidizing its EV sector, electric cars. How do you look at that?
According to my personal opinion, it is an action based on a certain fear to protect the market of their companies. But according to my opinion, they are in separate quality and price level. So what they are afraid is the price, the cheaper price of the Chinese EVs.
But the European Union has its own subsidies to consumers buying electric vehicles up to $7,000 to lower income groups. Yes. And the United States, of course, we're not talking about the United States, but across the Atlantic Ocean, they're subsidizing some $5,000 to EV industry.
So they are doing the same. They also support the EV manufacturing. They also support, give support for the customers to buy EVs, but they would like to the customers to buy their own electric vehicles. But China is far more ahead in the production and in the battery production.
Yeah, there's an integrated market in China, the largest lithium battery factory. Yeah. Lingde Times is just like 600 kilometers from BYD.
Yeah, I have read just last week that at this moment, I mean up till now, the share of the electric vehicles in China, it is almost 50%, either fully electric or plug-in hybrid.
Sir, there have been talks about decoupling with China, de-risking from China. Of course, a narrative first proposed by the United States, kind of picked up by the European Union, some European politicians. What is the sentiment of the Hungarian business community? Hungary, of course, being this member of the European Union.
I think it is more political than economical reaction. The globalism reached a certain level, reached a certain point, and now it is irreversible. At this moment, the world economy is in a very hectic situation, not driven only by the economic reasons, but also by political reasons. We cannot forget that in this year there will be election in USA, there will be election in Europe, for European Parliament. There was an election in Russia, and there will be elections in several other countries in Europe. So the politicians now are telling different slogans, but at the same time, the businessmen, the leaders of the companies, they want to find the new way of cooperation with China. That's number one. Number two, China needs Europe or EU, and EU needs China. Several German, French, Italian companies establish daughter companies or joint ventures in China. And for instance, the German Chancellor visited China, and quite a lot of business people was in the delegation. And last but not least, which is very important in these days, and it is also a specialty of Hungary, we can offer to the Chinese economy to become a logistic hub. First for Central Europe, but also for Europe, and it is very important for the e-commerce. Alibaba or AliExpress and Temu established their Central European hub in Budapest. And the cargo, the goods which are bought by the Europeans, not only Hungarians, mostly by Europeans. In this moment, weekly 22 to 24 cargo flights are moving between China and Hungary.
If you look at the record, Hungary has a track record of voting favorably towards Chinese proposals made by the European Parliament. And when the EU is trying to condemn China on a whole host of issues, Hungary sometimes voted against it, if not most of the times, all of the times. Is Hungary under any pressure from the European Union to be more hostile or confrontational to China, which marks a contrast to Hungary's traditional, time-honored friendship with China?
Hungary has its own foreign policy. We don't look to China as enemy, but we look at China as our cooperation partner, our friend, and we hope and we know that we could make certain good things for the world.
So talk to us about the hopes that you have for China-Hungarian businesses going forward.
My expectation is that our trade relation and our economic relation will develop much faster after the visit of President Xi Jinping. Not only the economic relations can be developed, but the cooperation and the exchange of students and the culture agreement or the culture cooperation will develop, and it will help us, because if we can manage the change of the student, means they will not learn only the language of the other country, but they will learn the culture of other country, and it will make good investment to the future.